is quite easy, namely the steps for using the podcast. Namely the first, make sure that the podcast feature is available or installed on your smartphone. Both default features and application that can be downloaded via the App Store or Play Store. Then open the feature or application. If the default feature is on your smartphone, all you have to do is open it and just look for what podcast you want to listen to as needed. And then we can save and download the podcast we need.
Hey y'all, it's Elise Hugh, and today we have an episode from How to Be a Better Human, another podcast in the TED Audio Collective. The topic? Happiness. Always something good to revisit and recenter as we enter a new year. If you want to hear more, follow How to Be a Better Human wherever you listen.
Welcome back to How to Be a Better Human. I am your host, Chris Duffy, and I am so happy to be back with our first episode of Season 3. I know that I speak for everyone on the show when I say that we are so honored to be starting this new year here with you. And I'll also be honest and say that starting a new year can be kind of fraught, right? A lot of people talk about new year, new you, but at least for me, I have spent many a January 2nd being like, oh God, it is a new year and I am still the same old me. How is that even possible? Right? I feel this pressure like I'm supposed to be flexing my six-pack while meditating and speaking fluent Spanish already. Like, how did I already fall so far behind in the new year? I think that's because there's a lot of pressure around transformation in a new year. And some of that can be good. I think it's good to have a kick in the butt, to lose some bad habits and start some new good ones, to be reflective about what's working and what's not working in your life, and to try and think strategically about how you can get yourself closer to what makes you happy. All that is really good. But there's a lot of really tough, challenging, negative pressure as well. To not make...
Hey y'all, it's Elise Hugh, and today we have an episode from How to Be a Better Human, another podcast in the TED Audio Collective. The topic? Happiness. Always something good to revisit and recenter as we enter a new year. If you want to hear more, follow How to Be a Better Human wherever you listen.
Welcome back to How to Be a Better Human. I am your host, Chris Duffy, and I am so happy to be back with our first episode of Season 3. I know that I speak for everyone on the show when I say that we are so honored to be starting this new year here with you. And I'll also be honest and say that starting a new year can be kind of fraught, right? A lot of people talk about new year, new you, but at least for me, I have spent many a January 2nd being like, oh God, it is a new year and I am still the same old me.
And if you use the application, you have to download it first if you don't have the application. Then after downloading, you can immediately search for the part podcast that you want to listen to, because in this application there are already many English podcasts available that are easy to listen to. And then we can save and download the podcast we need. We know that there are many features on laptops and cell phones that we can use and are easy to learn, such as using podcast application as learning media in laptop and cell phone features. And there is a Spotify application that we can download, and in it there are many English podcasts that we can listen to, and this is useful for learning how to use ICT to improve our listening abilities or skills. Podcasts are audio or video media files that are released regularly over the internet and can be downloaded via web syndication. Podcasts are digital audio material in MP3 format. Audio material is now available in digital formats such as MP3.
As you listen to this episode, we all know the verb know. It's a very common verb in English. But let's make sure we know how to use it properly in English. Let's start with the most basic definition. You know this definition. The most basic definition of the verb know is to be aware of something. I know this information. I am aware of this. Vice versa, is perhaps similar in your language. It is from Latin for literally in turned position, or in other words, the other way around, the opposite, in reverse. For example, dancers can teach Welcome to episode 27 of the English Sessions, the passive voice. Teach actors a lot, and vice versa. Or, actors can teach dancers a lot, and vice versa. My students sometimes ask me, Mike, how do you decide what you are going to talk about on the podcast? I have been teaching English for a long time, and I know what my students need to learn. I know what they need to focus on, or, in other words, pay attention to. Today's topic, transitive and intransitive verbs, is the perfect example of a Welcome to episode 19 of the English Sessions, Determiners, just the basics. I am your host and English teacher, Mike Butler. These podcasts can help you improve your English. Welcome to episode 16 of the English Sessions, 2 and 4, part 2. The preposition to. I am your host and English teacher, Mike Butler. These podcasts can help you improve your English. Together, we will talk about grammar, pronunciation, structure, and have some fun too. Remember to visit my website, www.englishsessionswithmike.com, to contact me for private lessons and for more content. You can also read the transcript of this audio on the website as you listen to this episode. Listen for these words today. Recipient. A recipient is a person who receives something. The recipient is given information. Recipient. Identical. Identical means similar in every way. For example, I bought 2 candy bars. They were identical until I ate half of one. Finish line. The finish line is the line you see at the end of a race. To attach. To attach means to fasten, connect, or join together. For example, we can say teenagers are attached to their...
Take the opportunity to wish you a very happy new year. New Year is all about New Year's resolutions, new goals and new targets. Your New Year's resolutions may be about staying healthier, spending more time with your family, or indeed learning another language or trying to improve your English. Then this is well-known and popular vocabulary and expressions related to a new start. I'll go through them and I'll give you some examples as we go through them.
There are 3 main characteristics of a podcast, namely episodic, downloadable, and mainly driven programs. There are 3 types of podcasts, namely the first is audio podcast. The most common podcasts are usually in MP3 files. The second is enhanced podcast, podcasts in the form of images accompanied by audio. And the third is video podcasts, which are films equipped with sound as well as usually in MP4 format. One simple and effective way to help you master listening is to listen to conversation or narrations in English frequently. This is very important, especially considering that most of us probably don't speak or listen to direct English sentence from people whose mother tongue speaks English.